Hello. Before you're able to get started coding, you need a place to be able to do your coding in. This video is going to walk through how to get started using an environment to code in. So the first thing, this series is going to teach you how to code in Java. I'm going to make another video explaining why I have it as my first choice of a language to teach. So you can just go to Java's website, and there's a whole lot of other stuff you can read. You can see I'm highlighting some of it here. Odds are, if you're watching this tutorial, you're not going to be reading much of this. The prompts are mostly just kind of click the download, install, manual download. Uh, Go through this video very slowly, and then just click what's appropriate for your system. You can see that they have both Windows and Mac. Again, I assume none of you are running Linux if you're watching this beginner video. There's some more advice on how to choose it, but just kind of go with the first one for your system. Generally, the right way to go. I will say, real quick, there are system requirements for running Java, but most of you should be fine. I can't imagine most of your machines can't handle it, and if they can't, I will have another option later in this video. Uh, Again, beware. There are technically some limits to this license you're going to have, notably that commercial use requires a separate license, but ways off from actually having to worry about any of the stuff. I'm going a little slow through this just so you guys are able to see everything that you need to click on. No, I have sped up the download time. That is at 16 times speed. It took much longer in real time, but I don't want to have you guys sit here and just watch my files download. Obviously, going to depend on your internet speed. Now, you need to install Java to be able to code in Java, but it's also going to be nice to maybe have something else to code it in. So, Java, real quick to pause for a second, Java is going to be the language that you're working with. Now, we're going to basically have an app that is what you're going to be writing the code in. It just has some nice tools surrounding it. It makes it prettier and easier to write code. It's called Eclipse. It's kind of the typical Java IDE. Obviously, there's other options, and you don't really need environments at all. They're just nice. Someone's eventually going to make you code in C just in the terminal, and you're going to not like it. But again, this download is sped up to 16 times speed. Sorry if it bothered anybody with some of those flashes right there. Just going to be another few more seconds here. It will take quite a few minutes, especially internet dependent. We're going to go ahead and go. I'm going to scroll through some of the other ones just so you guys can see that there are other options for Eclipse, and I've paused the video here. We're going to go with the Eclipse IDE for Java developers, just because we only need the basic Java stuff for right now. But I am just going through highlighting that there are other options that you can have. Though I do not have familiarity with those, so those are things you can look into, but I would recommend waiting until you have much more experience to do so. I would also, and unless you really ever know specifically what you want, I always keep all my default installations just because I'm not going to know better than the program unless I have something specific in mind to do with it. Again, sped up 16 times, so that will also take a few minutes. And just hit launch. I believe this was also sped up, so this will take quite a few minutes. And we're going to just get started with building a simple Hello World program. All right, now that we have Java installed and Eclipse set up, we're going to go and create your first Hello World program. Hello World is just what people do when they've learned a language or testing a connection. Very common in computer science when you're learning. So since we don't have any projects, we can just kind of do it from here, but to build better habits, let's come up here. We're going to create a new Java project. I'm going to name it Hello World. And then yours should say, this should be checked by default for you. I've gone through a previous recording of this, so I've already unchecked it. For what we're doing in this course, I want you to not have this box checked. If this box is checked, when you click finish, you're going to have some weird errors. So I'm going to go ahead and finish. Gives us this hello world, gives us this, and more importantly right now, this source folder. I'm going to right click on that, and I'm going to create a new class. I'm going to also name this hello world. I'm going to check this box that says public static void main. Later in the course, I'm going to go into that in much more detail, but for now, good to go and click finish. You can see that it has that public static void main. You didn't need to delete that, but I wanted to. You can see that it has the class name hello world, and we're going to type System.out.println. I'm going to put it in quotes, hello world, and then I'm going to end the line with a semicolon. And I'm going to hit Control S to save the file. You can also just run it with this play button. You can see it up here in this nav bar. Note when you run, it's going to ask if you want to save the file before running. Mine won't do that because I've already run the file once before. But when that window pops up, you're going to want to check the box that says always save before launching, and then hit launch. And you can see down here in this console, you can see that we got this output hello world. I'm just going to do this real quick to show that it actually runs, since I actually had my previous run. You can see that now it says hello world with an exclamation mark to reflect the change that I just made here. We're going to go into all of this in much more detail in later videos, but this one was mostly just to help get you set up in your environment. Before I end the video, I will real quick walk through a different place to code this in if for whatever reason installing Java and or Eclipse give you any difficulties along the way. Alright, so if you had troubles getting that installed, you can come to this site. It's called repl.it. REPL stands for Read, Evaluate, Print, Loop. This site is just an online code editor. So we're going to come here. I've already created an account, so I don't have to go through the account creation process, but it's just the same as creating an account for anything else you might do. I'm going to come here. I'm going to hit plus on create. And you can say search templates. I'm going to type in Java. I can give it a title. I'll just give it hello world. And I will hit create REPL. I don't care about any of that. And you can see it actually fully comes with this public static void main, hello world. It's going to take a little bit longer to load and everything. I'm going to click run. You can see it's doing all this stuff. It looks complicated, but it's going to run just the same as the other program did. You can notice that this has this ln, that means print line, so just print, and I will cover that in a future video as well. You notice how much longer that took to run. That's why I would lean towards using Eclipse. This is a backup option. But with that, we've covered both how to get everything set up and had you hopefully run your first program that you've written. Please stay tuned. Like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps out. And I will see you guys in the next one.